There's now claims from his defense attorney that he needs to appear in court wearing regular clothes and no shackles, otherwise it would prejudice the jury against him. Reading from this, the man accused of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk is asking a Utah judge to let him appear in court wearing civilian clothes rather than the orange jumpsuit and shackles of a prisoner. Tyler Robinson faces a possible death sentence for the shooting of Kirk at Utah Valley University. In a 21-page motion filed with Judge Tony Graff, Robinson's attorney argues that forcing him to appear in restraints would prejudice potential jurors, comparing the prison garb to a modern-day scarlet letter. They cite the case of Idaho killer Brian Kohberger, the one who killed, I think, like 3 college students in a dorm. Yep. He was allowed to appear in a suit during his high-profile trial. They said that's precedent, emphasizing that the repeated and ubiquitous display of their client in jail attire could lead to a perception that he is already guilty. So more procedural nonsense going on over this case. They want him to appear in a suit, not shackles. They're, the federal government's still trying to push for the death penalty. The trial's a mess. We've still never heard anything from Robinson. He hasn't entered a plea.
He hasn't admitted that he did it.
He hasn't confessed or denied it. So he has not entered a plea, and his next court date is not until October 30th.
You know what I would say if I was him? I know, hey, guys, get my lawyer. This isn't admissible in court. I don't even want this in court. Show the world. Put me on a lie detector test if you're innocent, and go show the world. Show the world. Why not?
Yeah.
Bring it to the freaking jail. I didn't do it. I don't. How about this? I don't even remember anything from over there because I was. By the way, how many cars were at his house for a week driving in and out?
Out of state plates.
Out of state plates. Like I love. By the way, and again, to pull something off like this, Brandon. If let's say it's X is doing it. You know how many layers they put in there? Where even if somebody gets caught, that one's covered and covered. That's how high-level assassinations happen. That's how JFK still to this day. Nobody knows. You know why? Because that's how they set it up.
Yeah.
Even if you have a smoking gun, it ain't that hot.
And I mean, just like with what we know and what we've seen, like make the case that's impossible that this kid doesn't even exist. Yeah. Like
where is he?
You know what I'm saying? Like make the case why it's incorrect to say that this kid might not even exist. Like, have we seen him like in physical form?
No, you saw him on a video.
Anywhere? Yeah.
No, you saw him on a video.
And somebody was telling me some very interesting stuff about when they looked up his mother's Facebook page and her LinkedIn profile. There's like no history on people in his family, like no pictures, no career history, no tax records, no land records.
Nothing.
Yeah. So it's like they're just like a fake family that was just...
Because you've never seen him. All you've seen him, right, Humberto, is just on video.
Yeah.
That's it.
So why is there no digital footprint of him or anybody in his family?
Because that's how
you have the text messages.
Yeah, but text messages...
Those funny text messages?
Yeah, those nobody believes text. Hey, I'm going to do something crazy. You're not going to do something crazy, are you? That's the worst.
There's a lot of holes in the narrative about, why have we never seen on video the shooter allegedly jumping off the roof holding a gun? Where was the gun? They said, oh, it was broken down and stuffed in his backpack and down the leg of his pants. Well, you can't run like that when you got a gun that long down the leg of your pants. Or it doesn't fit in the backpack. Or if it was disassembled, how did you reassemble it in the woods but the screwdriver was on the roof? There are things that don't make sense.
And the governor said that he changed outfits when he got to the roof, then changed outfits before he came off the roof.
That's impossible.
It's retarded.
Why would you say that?
There's things that don't make sense, but I will continue to stand behind what I have said on previous episodes, that you have to overlook a lot to jump to high-level Fed op type stuff. When it's clear Tyler Robinson, if he was the shooter, had help. There was a lot of people on the ground helping him pull it off. A lot of people had foreknowledge of something going on. They planned it in Reddit and Discord, which are two hotbeds for like radical leftist activism, where these people find each other and communicate and coordinate mass acts of violence.
Can we talk about the facts?
But if you're running this op real quick, like what would you have higher confidence in? Like him being there with a gun to draw attention once the thing happens, or him taking the actual shot? Like if I was somebody who was running this thing and actually wanted it to be successful, I wouldn't trust him or crooks at the Trump thing in a million years to take the actual shot. I just want them there with a gun.
Yeah, so here's my thing, Brandon. This guy, 4.0 GPA, this nobody on a map, set up one of the biggest assassination attempts in the history of the country, and literally it's just him. So that means he had to have George Zinn, the guy that was at 9/11, show up, be there. He had to recruit him to stand up and do the waving and all that shit. He had to get with the school and be like, hey, start construction as soon as this is done, because I want everything wiped out and cleared.
Yeah.
I want the guy that's going to do the autopsy be the first time that he's ever doing. None of it. There's no way There's no way you can convince me that that guy, that kid, did all this and it was pulled off to a T. And there's so many questions, and it's all going to sit on him. There's no way.
And he
I'm
made
sorry.
it back home somehow.
Get the hell out of here. Give me and then that footage of that kid in the hallway, like, you know, that footage of the security footage. It's not even. It doesn't look like him. It doesn't look like him at all. Go ahead, say what you're saying.
No. I want to bring everything back to the facts where we know right now.
The story, you mean?
No,
The story. They're not facts.
No. This is a fact. Like, the charges have been brought. All right. It's aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, 2 counts, witness tampering, 2 counts, and commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child. All right. In order for them to consider that he had help, they need to have conspiracy charges to.
So there's no conspiracy charge.
They haven't brought up any conspiracy charges.
Yeah, weird.
Now,
Well, they don't have any alleged co-conspirators at this point.
So George Zinn is just a random dude standing
We know from the Deddy stuff, though, that they can control the hell out of
Judges,
court here.
of course.
Like, if you put a certain prosecutor and you're like, all right, we have a friendly district attorney, we have a friendly prosecutor
all
prosecuting
kangaroo
this
court,
case. You
yeah.
can steer where it goes.
Of course.
and so far the investigation's still open. All right, it's still open. They haven't closed the investigation, and yeah, like, basically the FBI is sticking with being a rifle, single shooter, everything that we heard before, and they're using the video where he jumps off the roof as the main proof.
Yeah, easiest case ever for a defense attorney. That's what every lawyer's saying. It's a defense attorney's dream.
But there hasn't been any official, like, all this information is gathered from the news media by FBI Director Kash Patel and secondhand sources. So there hasn't been a document by the FBI retelling the whole story yet.
Yeah, and it's an ongoing investigation, as they say. But this is a really important question that we all have to, I think, ask ourselves. What disclosure would we believe? Like, okay, if Kash Patel came out and said, we are now looking at this as evidence of a large radical activist network, Tyler Robinson was, one person involved in it. We don't know if he pulled the trigger. We are looking at now 10 other suspects who may have been present at the time of the shooting. Okay, would we believe that? Or would we immediately jump to, well, who are these 10 people patsies for? Who are they trying to frame? Who are they covering up? If he comes out and says, you know what, this was an elaborate terrorist cell from a foreign country that pulled this off to try to harm the American political system. Well, we'd immediately say, no, it wasn't. It was our own government trying to kill. So what do we believe?
What are we digging for? Don't forget what you're going to say,
Yeah.
Connor. No, and I get where you're coming from. They have lost all credibility. There's besides the trust in politics and all that shit in media. Bro, nobody trusts the government. Nobody trusts the DOJ. Nobody trusts Pam Bondi. Nobody trusts Kash Patel. Dan Bongino should have quit and gone back to podcasting because he has ruined his reputation. I love the guy. I've met the guy. I've hung out with the guy. Great soul. But guess what? When you come into the room and you see shit that you don't want to see and you're like, oh, I can't be compromised, bounce. Goodbye. So there's nothing that they could do for me to trust. You lost my trust. It's like a wife that's cheated on you. Okay, now she's back. And now I'm going to believe anything else that she has to say? No, you lost all credibility. So now no matter what you do, and because everything that you said from the beginning was BS.
Yeah.
We know it. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Just the gun situation. The gun in the backpack. Have you seen how long a 30-06 rifle is? Even if it's collapsible, because those don't collapse, how are you going to shove it? Dude, a backpack is this big.
Yeah.
You're lying to us.
Yeah.
Why? So just shut up. Don't tell me. You know what they should have said? Hey, guys, we're not giving any information. This is who we think it is, but let's do our research and come back.
But if they'd done that, at that point, the answer would have, oh, they're clearly covering things up. Why aren't they telling us? We need to know now, or else they're going to cover up all the evidence and lie to us.
When else, though, have they said we got him 3 times after something so high profile? Like, normally it's always like ongoing investigation. We're keeping things close to like tight knit right now to keep the ongoing investigation intact and not reveal what we have.
Yeah,
but 3 different people said we got him.
All the same thing. But going back to Lee Harvey Oswald, the guy was at work and probably didn't even know. They were like, bro, the president's been shot. He's like, wait, what? And ran around, and that's when he realized, oh, shit, I'm the patsy. So he went to the movie theater and he's hanging out, and they all came to get him. Case closed. Jack Ruby shoots him. Bro, this is exactly that, bro. Because this is the last time it happened was JFK. Now cut to
Then
Charlie.
RFK.
And RFK. And Brandon, and it's the same. By the way, why change your tactic?
Oh, it's a great playbook.
Oh, it's an amazing thing.
All right.
MK Ultra, Patsy.
And to go back to the example you used of a wife who cheats on you. Yeah, you know what? Maybe your wife steps out on you and is unfaithful and then comes back and then says, oh, believe me. Obviously that your trust has been broken. You don't trust people who demonstrate themselves to be untrustworthy just off the bat. But that doesn't mean an untrustworthy person can't say something accurate. But the point is you don't take their word for it. You verify it based on the facts. So that is why we do not trust Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi and the entire Department of Justice because right, left, or center, we believe the government is untrustworthy and our institutions don't have credibility anymore. Nope. That is why we go back to the facts. We go back and look at what we know. And
what's a fact?
On,
and who's giving me the
so
fact?
many of these things, there is no consensus on which to rely. Ballistics experts, on one hand, are saying, oh, a shot in the neck with a 30-06 would explode your head. There's no way that was a 30-06. And then there's other people running the same simulation saying, look, I just pulled off the shot and it had the exact same effect. Some people saying the shot was behind him. Some people saying, no, it had to be from the front and it bounced off of his clavicle.
For a doctor to call him a man of steel, though, because his neck bone stopped a bullet, like shit like that.
Okay,
what are you talking about?
Bullets do weird things.
But
Anyone who spends enough time around firearms knows bullets do weird stuff.
The bullet they're
hit
claiming
things.
makes like cows explode, makes oak trees explode, like
Brandon,
goes completely through a 14-inch oak tree. His neck bone didn't stop that.
But I look, I think not everything is lost. All right, not everything is lost. And the way they can fix this situation is to go from impact backwards, all right? Because there's a lot of people over here blaming like very complex, organizations that are in charge of the shooting and this guys and this other guys. That's useless until we know what bullet impacted his neck and what happened to the bullet.
They don't even have it though, Bertha. They can't. They say they have a piece of the bullet. How did you not find the bullet?
Yeah.
But so they need to start building trust from this horror, from Charlie's neck outwards. So we need to have a conclusive, and they need to work over time. So we have a conclusive proof of the ballistics, with videos, 3D models, and everything. That's where you establish trust. Because I think the government can still turn things around if they start from that place. Like, this is the bullet, this is the gun, this is what happened. Then to the trigger. This is who pulled the trigger. This is what happens.
Is their behavior consistent with discovery mode, though, with intel gathering mode? Like, their behavior doesn't seem consistent with a group who wants to know everything possible.
Brandon?
What do I know?
It seems consistent on investigating a guy they have in
destroyed
custody.
the crime scene
But
right away.
This is the CIA and the FBI. They have methods and things.
No, but they're not being consistent with their methods right now.
How do you know?
Because we don't have answers to very simple questions that we would have answers to otherwise.
How do you know? Maybe they haven't been communicating,
No, but why lie? But why lie? I want you to continue, Brandon. Why lie about the rifle in his backpack? Humberto, there's no way you, unless it was a duffel bag, do a 30-06 is this big.
There's
You're lying.
a problem with the explanation, but it doesn't prove a lie. It just proves they've done a terrible job explaining themselves.
Well,
so they need to come out and give us an official explanation, and then based on the facts of their explanation, we determine then whether they are lying or not.
What
So
I'm
just
saying.
human behavior 101. Like, what's an instant red flag that somebody's lying to you? Whether it's like a kid or a girlfriend. Like, when do you start feeling like, okay, somebody's lying to me? Right, like it's when their excuses or their facts that they're giving you aren't consistent with what reality is, and their story keeps changing in an unreasonable way.
Guys, and we're talking great point, and we're like, let's not forget. I hope nobody's forgetting. For the 6 months prior, they were lying through their freaking teeth about Epstein, lying
Butler,
lying about it, and saying it went from Pam Bondi saying we have tens of thousands of hours of footage and we're watching them, to no, none of it exists. To Kash Patel saying, oh, he was sex trafficking in front of Congress, all these girls to himself. What are you talking about? What about Bill Clinton? What about Bill Gates? Melinda Gates left him because of his scumbagness about that. So going back to my point is, when you've lost all that credibility, and we're screwed, Connor, because nothing they say we're going to believe. So that's on them. That's on them. We're not doing the investigation, but from what I'm seeing, you're lying to me. And my intuition, my gut, that's what a lot of people have been failing. I know everybody wants to know facts. I get it. But when I ask you, Connor, your intuition, and I get what you're saying with the bullet coming from, okay, you don't think that this guy was working alone? You don't think he was working? Okay,
certainly not. I don't think he was an intelligence asset brainwashed into taking the fall for it. I think Tyler Robinson had a whole network of people who knew about it, helped him plan it. These people all interacted with each other online. They had the same radical ideology.
Okay.
They had training that taught them how to do this. He went up onto the roof and he had a bunch of people on the ground to help him coordinate the shot, help him cause chaos and distraction afterwards. George Zinn is an outlier. I agree. It's hard to explain how there was any connection. But if you look at what seems to be this guy's history, he just shows up and does stuff.
That's so.
This guy is not taking cues from people. This guy is just randomly throwing himself into situations.
What are the odds of being at the Boston bombing, 9/11?
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying. That's why every theory about this needs facts.
Here's what I see, though. What I see is whatever the group is, there's a powerful group that our actual government is afraid to call out that tried to take out Trump and successfully took out Kirk. I think that's the same group because they won't touch the Trump thing. Trump isn't even afraid to talk about who went after him.
He moved on.
And then this. Like, I think it's whatever group it is.
Apparatus?
Who the hell knows? I don't even want to know anymore. I want to focus on making money now instead of questioning this shit because nobody seems to care about it.
No, nobody cares. And Connor, I agree to a certain extent with what you're saying. There's certain parts that I'll debate with you with. But when you talk about George Zinn, it wasn't as if it was just a kind of nonchalant, oh, I'm here, I might as well. The moment the gun went off, there's footage, he stands right up, is waving a handkerchief and going towards the stage. I'm telling you right now, that is a coincidence that I'm going to say out loud is completely horseshit. That son of a bitch, sorry for my language, was in on it. I don't know if it was with him. I don't know if it's with Brandon's apparatus that he's talking about. We kind of can hint towards what it is. This type of operation, bro, is so... And I have to disagree. There's no way that guy on Discord said that this is a military-style fucking hit. I'm sorry. Well, there's no way a dork on Discord, which a bunch of furries took out Charlie, and by the way, they're getting away with it scot-free, everybody else, and he's going to be the fall guy, because that's how they work.
I think what's remarkable, what's remarkable to me, though, it's not like I could see some like amateur potentially pulling off the shot. That's not the remarkable part to me. The remarkable part to me is like when the government starts acting weird and can't answer simple questions. That's what's more remarkable to me. That shows that was something more than some random network of kids.
Like, who was the last person to ask a question?
What do you mean who's the last person to ask a question?
Like, I haven't seen any like a journalist or like a reporter.
Just when these people come out and make statements, it's crazy. Like, we don't even get to the question asking stage because they won't come out and do a Q&A about the thing. But when they make their actual statements that are prepared, they sound crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel you. Like, I understand this is crazy. It's nuts, all right? It is nuts, and it doesn't add up to me. I don't have any theories in it, but it doesn't add up, all right? But I'm a problem-solving type of guy. You know that, Brandon. What's a procedure to have them answer questions? I don't know. Do you put a request?
Oh, good luck with that. No, there's nothing. Umberto, there's actually, because a journalist, great question. One of the main people that's still talking shit that's kind of dwindled was Candace. And she was proving people right. When they were talking about the text and this and that, she was the only one that was like, hey, guys, my friend was shot in the freaking neck, and she's the only one that kept going. Everybody else literally, Humberto, moved on. But journalism is dead.
She's not really even asking questions about the assassination anymore. Now it's rabbit trailed off into, what was Charlie texting about beforehand? And she is saying
she's looking for motive.
She is saying herself that she is not drawing conclusions about who shot Charlie. Okay, that's what I'm interested in finding out about. I don't care what Charlie's policy positions were unless they are directly pertaining to his death. So if you're saying they're not related to who killed him, then stop asking that for now and let's go find out who shot him.
Well, she's actually, and now recently
that whole thing with the plane of, this mysterious plane, the wrong time zone, man.
Yeah.
Like, you misread the time. You got that wrong.
That's what I'm getting at, because everyone jumped the shark. I'm not going to name any names, but everyone's jumping the shark and started blaming groups, different groups, like this and that, and we still don't have an answer what happened in the ground.
What serious person has said an actual group, though?
What serious person has
said an actual group?
Depends on how you define serious person.
Like somebody who has like a serious following. I haven't heard serious people say like it was definitely this group or definitely that group.
I have. Some crazy I can show you the posts.
Yeah, I've seen crazy. Yeah, I've seen some out there people that aren't like extremely.
Like I heard Qatar, I heard this, I heard China, I heard the other thing and whatever. But Like, I don't understand why we're talking about that when nobody's happy with what happened on the ground.
But
I'm talking about because it's consistent with the behavior around Butler. Like, I thought it was bizarre that Trump was not like Trump will talk for months about somebody who simply talked shit about him. Like, how many times you hear him talk shit about like Adam Schiff or whoever else has talked shit about him? But he won't. Somebody who shot him in the head and he's not talking about it.
And by the way, let's be like he makes a very, very good point. The fact that the Secret Service tried to pretend Kim Cheadle, the head that had to step down, Connor, she tried to pretend like, oh, the roof was sloped, so we didn't want to. No. It seems an average person would be like, wait a minute, you're lying.
Yeah.
Because all the security deficiencies were basically looking like it was set up for him to get his freaking head shot off live on TV.
The ridiculous Pac-Man perimeter that was a perfect circle except for that one wedge way down around where that farm was.
And he makes a very good point because think about the magnitude of that. The front runner who was probably going to win the presidency was shot in the head, and only by the grace of God that this guy turned, and the sniper who was aiming for here, probably in this area, the same thing with Charlie, missed that shot. And we're all to believe that it was that dorky ass white kid with no footprint on the internet, whose apartment was cleaned out, whose father was being very, very freaking weird, and then it was a closed case, and then they shot his ass in the head, and then they swept up and sprayed the roof. And Trump was lucky as hell, and I believe, Brandon, that same type of group was involved with this. And this guy, show the audience his dead ass look in his eyes. That looks like a brainwashed MK Ultra guy that's just like this, that was told, get your ass up on that roof, have a gun will be up there, we're gonna throw a screwdriver, good luck. And now by the way, he probably has no idea what the hell is going on. That's the truth. And for anybody that thinks I'm crazy, look up MK Ultra, government, Wikipedia, Google from the 50s to the 70s, and they were doing it. It's 2025. Now they probably don't even have to brainwash you. They'll probably send a freaking code to your phone, and you're just like, I have to go kill.
Yeah, but if that was possible, or the guns were hidden in camera, why not use the heart attack gun? Why not use not use the space lasers? We're in the realm of science fiction here to try to explain something that is very obviously possible with radicalized ideology. Why would George Zinn jump up and say, hey, I'm the guy, shoot me, without any connection to this guy? It's simple. Why do radical leftists self-immolate to protest ICE? Why does a guy set himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy to yelling free Palestine as his lips melt? Because these people are delusional, Vinny. These people are brainwashed into self-destructive and violent behavior against the people around them by the ideologies they embrace. This guy might be so obsessed with his trans boyfriend and hate Charlie so much, view Charlie as such a violent racist, that he's willing to throw his life away to take Charlie out of the picture. That is an extremely plausible explanation for this.
Not challenging that being the plausible part. What I'm challenging being plausible is the government's reaction to it.
And
like
these are the questions we need, and that's why it goes so pear-shaped. Actually, nobody was on the roof. It was a guy in the tunnels with the exploding lapel pins and the secret microphones behind him. And actually, when you really listen to it, there might have been up to 3 shooters who fired in the exact same millisecond, so the overlapping sound made it. Where are we right now?
People are skitzing out.
We are losing our minds. We are becoming schizophrenic because our government will not have those basic conversations.
I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to answer my own questions, all right? Because I've been around 100 people talking about this, and I guarantee you nobody that I know has followed the right channels and the right steps to get information.
Except for you.
No, I haven't done it. All right?
I thought you were saying that to say that you have.
But listen, okay?
Yeah.
You can contact the FBI Public Affairs Office. It's public.affairs@fbi.gov and get the information. You can file a Freedom of Information Act request.
Which they could reject based on national security.
It's 20 to 60 days.
But they could deny it based on national security.
A denial will speak volumes. All right?
But how about me trying to call the school and try to find out who in their right mind would start doing construction days after the biggest assassination attempt since the president in 1963? Make that make sense to me. And I get what you were saying about the radicalization and what would make Antifa and all these guys, because they're obviously brainwashed to a certain extent, but they're funded as well, Brandon.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor. These people are funded by higher up NGOs, and we know the big players' names. And I get what you're talking about the guy that took himself, like, that's mental.
Zen, you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the guy that burned himself.
The guy who burned himself
That's
outside
a
the
mental
Israeli
defect
embassy.
that you have something really going on where you're gonna burn, like it's for Palestine and you burn yourself and you commit suicide for a cause, which I think is absolutely insane. But again, going back to the Zinn thing, you cannot tell me that the odds of him being here and doing that moment, meaning, like, think about it, Connor. You're there to watch Charlie Kirk give a speech and just be there. The second he shot, you run, and that means somebody told him to be there. Because you know what he said? Allegedly, while he was in jail or getting questioned, he goes, I'm supposed to get paid. I don't know by who, but I was supposed to get paid for what I did that day. So
shit.
that right there, if that's true, is a conspiracy. Conspiracy to murder, and I just don't think we're gonna get
Why
there.
can't we
If
see
that's
that
true,
footage
yeah.
from the camera behind Kirk?
Yeah, why not?
They grabbed
well,
the
because
shit
the guy jumped on the evidence. By the way, nobody secured the scene. That's horse shit.
But with the camera behind him, and we've got to wrap this up, so I'll make this one of the last points we discuss. The camera angles behind him, if you look at other Turning Point events, the camera set up behind Charlie doesn't show Charlie.
Shows the audience.
It's to show audience reactions and the people, specifically the microphones for his Q&A sections. So that footage probably doesn't even show him.
But here's the thing, though. There's probably how many different camera angles? Like, we probably saw a couple dozen camera angles, but there's probably thousands of camera angles out there with everybody who's recording, every news station that was there, every Turning Point camera. So, like, why haven't we seen every camera angle? Like, did they confiscate cameras? Because, you're telling me that somebody out there didn't capture a different angle that might have shown something?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like we've seen far
that has
too-
to exist somewhere. So, yes, these are all the legitimate questions we have to ask. I'm not saying it's illegitimate to investigate this or try to ask why the government is not being forthright about
quite
this.
honestly, this is something that I'd be afraid to investigate, because it's like, if Trump's not there to kind of back you up in the situation, and a lot of the normal people that you would expect to do, then, like, who the hell is there? Like, who would want to go out on a limb and ask these questions if
It's
Kirk
dangerous.
gets whacked for it, everybody loves him, and nobody's standing up for him in, like, the ways that matter? But yeah, people are doing the symbolic things, like giving him awards and honoring him and stuff, but they're not asking the questions of who
that's
actually did it.
actually within the solutions is writing your congressperson so they can start an investigation.
Oh, does that works out great with, like, the simplest
Well,
of
you
things.
can call Rick Scott.
Even
The
if you
phone
need-
number is right
even
here.
if like your sewer drains flood too quickly, that they won't resolve that. You think they're going to help you with this thing?
Brandon, I'm trying to believe in this country and its institutions. All right, like this is the list.
Well, you're that very, very, very,
I'm trying.
very small percentage that, listen to these words, trust the government, trust the Department of
I
Justice.
don't trust it.
By the way, I haven't
trying.
trusted them since just look at 2016 with Trump, with the FBI, with all, dude, they were all colluding. James Comey and all these people, Andy McCabe, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, they were all literally 50,000 text messages. We have to get an insurance policy. Bro, these people haven't gone away. And here's the sad part, guys. They're never going to get the credibility back. It's over. It's over. So you can sit there, we can scream till we're blue in the face. I have to just go, bro, God's the accountability factor. You're not going to get what you want here. Zero. If you think we're ever going to get the answer of who killed Charlie, who actually killed him, and who was behind it, you're delusional. It'll never happen.
You want to factor wrap it all together?
Yeah.
Guess who established the Presidential Medal of Honor?
Who established it?
Yeah, who was the first one to give it out?
Who?
Lyndon B. Johnson.
John F. Kennedy.
Really?
Huh.
Well, there you go.
What are the odds?
And that makes perfect sense.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.